Hello, good evening, everybody. So we'll be talking about IELTS listening, tips and strategies for IELTS listening. At the end of this class, we're going to be having a practice. We're going to have a practice and we'll be submitting at the end of this class. Now, let's move on. Tip 1, the listening will be played once during the test. IELTS listening is going to be played once during the test, and it helps that you do a complete practice at least a few times before you take the actual exam. The recording is going to be played once. In other words, you will be listening as you are answering your questions. Okay? Tip 2, during the listening test, you will need to multitask. This means reading the questions, listening for the answer, and writing down your answer all at the same time. Now, since you're only listening to the audio once, it's important that as you listen, you are reading the questions and you are answering them at the same time as you are listening, right? In case you have any question, just let me know. Comment it on the portion that you can make your comments there, or send me a direct WhatsApp message, whatever it might be, and we would have a one-on-one answer for your question. I'm going to answer a question, one-on-one answer for your question. And when you do the classwork, whatever questions you feel you have as well, send them to me so that we can practice and answer those questions. So tip 2, you need to multitask. Now, tip 3, practice transferring your answers to an actual answer sheet. Now, the thing is, since you registered for paper and pen test, you have a question booklet that will be given to you and an answer booklet that will be given to you. It is important that you answer first the questions in the question booklet, because you'll be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question booklet to your answer booklet. So always try to practice and transferring answers from your question booklet to your answer sheet. Then use a pencil instead of a pen. Use a pencil instead of a pen. Using a pencil actually allows you to erase mistakes on your answer sheet, and usually you will be making use of a pencil when doing your IELTS. You're going to be using a pencil. So for the purpose of even practicing for the actual test, start using a pencil to practice, right? Okay, let's move on. Always guess if you don't know the answer. Always guess if you don't know the answer. Tip 5. Let's go to tip 6. Now, you can write down your answers in capital letter or in lowercase letter. I will advise that you always write your answers in capital letters. Capital letters. Now, why am I saying write in all caps? Is because how your listening is marked on the IELTS is computer. So if the computer cannot sense what you actually wrote, it's a minus for you. That means you have lost the mark. But if you write in capital letters and you write them legibly, it will be easily understood, right? And it eradicates the possibility of writing in cursive, which is quite misleading or can be misread by the computer. So always write in all capital letter when you do your listening test. All right. I want to look at a sample IELTS listening question. You can see this is IELTS listening test 1, part 1, and you have questions from questions 1 to 10. Usually the IELTS listening has 40 questions and is divided into 4 parts. So part 1 has 10 questions, part 2 has 10 questions, part 3 has 10 questions, and part 4 has 10 questions. All right, so let's listen to the audio. Let's listen to the audio as we practice the test.
This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1.
Okay, this is part 1. Okay.
Part 1.
All right.
You will hear a man phoning to find out about some children's engineering workshops. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 3.
This is the time to look at questions 1 to 3. So you have create a cover for one dash so they can drop it from height without breaking it. Take part in a competition to build the tallest. Make a dash power.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 3.
All right.
Hello, Children's Engineering Workshops.
Oh, hello. I wanted some information about the workshops in the school holidays.
Sure.
I have 2 daughters who are interested. The younger one's Lydia. She's 4. Do you take children as young as that?
Yes. Our tiny engineers workshop is for 4 to 5-year-olds.
What sorts of activities do they do?
All sorts. For
All right.
example,
Let me
they work
pause it
together
here.
to design a special.
Okay. Now what is happening is you can see that there is a conversation between a man and a lady who is, of course, probably the receptionist for a workshop for children's engineering. So in that conversation, they will be talking and the answers for questions number 1 will be said. So you are expected to listen to their conversation and pick the answer for 1. When they talk about it, they will move and you will look at question 2, pick the conversation for the answer for question 2, do the same for 3. That is how it is. You listen as you go. You listen only once. You are expected to answer the question as the recording is playing. This is how IELTS listening works. All right. Okay. Now, if you look at this is how your question booklet comes in. It has slots that you can actually do what? You can actually write down the answers. You can write down the answers here. Yeah. But this is not the answer booklet. This is the question booklet. Right? This is the question booklet, not the answer booklet. Now, you'll be given an answer booklet so that you can transfer your questions, your answers that you have written here, into the answer booklet. Now, let's look at how the answer booklet is. Okay, now, this is how your answer booklet comes in. You can see that there are 40 questions. You have question 1 here, you have questions 40 here, and you have space to write in your answer in between for each number, right? So this is how your answer sheet is. First, you have to write, this is your candidate name, you write your candidate name. After you register for the test, they will issue you a candidate number. This is where you will write your candidate's number here. You know your test center number. This is where you write your test center number. Then you write the test date. Assuming you're writing the test for 7th of May, you write 07/05/2022. You write the test date here. You put your candidate's name here. This is how you will fill in. Then you start transferring your answers from your answer booklet to here. So questions 1, you put it here. Questions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 40. This is what you're going to do in the listening test, right? Okay. On with the tips. Tip 7 says check out for the maximum number of words you can write for each answer. All right, now let's go back to that test, that practice we're doing, and let's see the number of words that we have for part 1. So you can see that what we have here as the number of words, maximum number of words, is just 1. You can see it here, 1, right? It says what? Write one word and or a number. So the maximum number of word is just 1. The maximum number you can use is just 1. So you can either write only one word, which will be correct, one number, which is also correct, or you can write one word and a number, which is correct. But the moment you write 2 words, it becomes wrong. The moment you write 2 numbers, it becomes wrong. So check out the instruction, right? Okay. Now, okay, let's move to tips 8. Tip 8 says the number of words and numbers is calculated as follows. So a year like 1985 is one number. So when they say write one number, it does not mean that you should just write a digit. No. A year like 1985, or what year are we now, 2022, is considered as a number because it's in a group, right? This is a year. 2022 is a year, right? 1985 is a year. So it is considered as one number, right? Now they say a large number like 12.376 is one word. So if you have 12.376 is one word, and hyphenated word like factory made is one word, because there's a what? There is an hyphen that is connecting the 2 words together, making it one. Now, a compound now which is not hyphenated, like a football field, is not one word, it is 2 words, because they are what? Not hyphenated, and it's a compound noun. Compound noun is it's combination of 2 or more nouns. Football is a noun. What is a noun? A noun is the name of a place, animal, place. It's the name of a thing, animals, place or thing, right? The name of a person, animal, place or thing. So football is a thing. Field is also what? A place. So a combination of 2 nouns, which is a compound noun, is 2 words. 2 words. So they are not one word. It's not a one word stuff. So you need to understand this. Number 1, we said a number like a year, like 1985, is what? Regarded as one number. We talked about this as well. We talked about hyphenated words, and we talked about compound words. So let's move on. All right, let me skip to tip 10, which is important now. It says check your spelling. Check your spelling. If your answer is spelled wrong, the answer is marked wrong. Your spelling should be 100% accurate. As little as a misspelled letter in a word is considered wrong. In fact, if the answer is places, for example, let's say the answers you have is, the correct answer should be places. Like I said, write in capital letter. So let's say we have the correct answer as what? Places. Places with an S. And you wrote place. Place without an S. This is wrong. What you have here is wrong. So as little as a misspelled, as a non-pluralized word is marked wrong. So you need to check your spelling, check your pluralization, and you will be fine in the IELTS listening, right? All right, finally, the tip I'm going to be talking about before we move to a practice question is, for multiple choice questions, when you have objectives like this, right? I'm going to give you an example. When you have an objective like this, you are expected to write, for example, the correct answer is A, green. Don't write green like this. Just write only the option. If the answer is A, write in that answer sheet A. Just select the option. Do not write the answer behind the option. Like I said, it is computer that is marking it. And anytime it goes to a multiple choice question like this, it is set, computerized to mark just the options and not words. So the moment you write words or sentences, you are wrong. Just write only the correct option. Okay, now let's move on and let's see a practice test. All right, so I will need you to practice with me as I write. So I have my pencil here, and I have a plain sheet of paper, and I have the question right in front of me. So, all right, so I'll be answering the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 question. So let's listen to this.
Part 1. You will hear a man phoning to find out about some children's engineering workshops. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 3.
Okay, this is when I'll be looking at questions 1 to 3, and just to give myself an idea of what I should be taking note of.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 3.
Okay.
Hello, Children's Engineering Workshops.
Oh, hello. I wanted some information about the workshops in the school holidays.
Sure.
I have 2 daughters who are interested. The younger one's Lydia. She's 4. Do you take children as young as that?
Yes. Our tiny engineers workshop is for 4 to 5-year-olds.
What sorts of activities do they do?
All sorts. For example, they work together to design a special cover that goes round an egg, so that when it's inside, they can drop it from a height and it doesn't break. Well, sometimes it does break, but
Number 1 is egg, because I heard them saying egg.
And Lydia loves building things.
Without breaking.
Is there any opportunity for her to do that?
Well, they have a competition to see who can make the highest tower.
The highest
You
tower,
see amazed
tallest
how
tower.
high they can go.
Right.
So the number 2 is
But
tower.
they're learning all the time as well as having fun. For example, one thing they do is to design and build a car that's attached to a balloon, and the force of the air in that actually powers the car and makes it move along. They go really fast too.
All right, I must confess to you, I did not hear question 3. I did not hear question 3, and they have passed number 3. So something came up and I was distracted. So in the actual IELTS, when you did not hear something, you have missed it already. But since I'm practicing, I want to go back and play it again so that I
But
can.
when it's inside, they can drop it from a height and
Okay.
it doesn't break.
It doesn't break.
Well,
That's number one.
Sometimes
Without
it does
breaking
break,
it.
but that's part of the fun.
Right. And Lydia loves building things.
Building things. You
Is
can
there
see.
any
You're
opportunity
talking
for
about
her to
build.
do that?
Well, they have a competition to see who can make
Competition.
the highest tower.
Highest,
You'd
tallest
be
tower.
amazed how high they can go.
Right.
How the
But
competition?
they're learning all the time as well as having fun.
Okay.
For example, one thing they do is to design and build a car that's
design
attached to a
build a
balloon,
car.
and the force of the air in that actually powers the car and makes it move along. They
And the
go
force of the
really
air
fast
powered by the
too.
balloon. So
Okay,
question
well,
number 3
all this sounds perfect.
is car. Question 3 is car.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 4 to 10.
So I'm going to just stop here. I'm just going to stop from question 1 to 3 and check out my answers and see how many I had gotten correct, because I'm just doing an example. So let me just check out what I have done from questions 1 to 3. I don't want to answer everything because this is your own classwork. And okay, question 1 it's egg, I got it. Question 2 is tower, I got it. Question 3 is car, I got it. All right, so this is how the IELTS work. Okay, let me pause it.